Crowd of boys, peace. What's good with you boys out there? Come to talk to you boys today about semen retention and a secret power that is gained, retained, acquired along your path, along this journey. And before I jump into this topic, I want to thank you boys who come to the channel. If you're new, welcome. If you've been here, you already know what it is. I appreciate you showing love. Make sure you guys like the content when you come across this audio. Strip the algorithm. Let's get this channel growing. To help donate to the channel, to help the channel grow, all the links are in the description. But make sure first and foremost, man, that y'all like the content. All right, like the content. This gets the content flowing to guys who need this information. It spreads across the algorithm. You dig what I'm saying? Comment. I appreciate you guys who comment. Just showing your love and support. Also, consultations. Y'all can reach out if y'all having any type of struggles during your journey. Feel like giving up, you don't see any benefits, you're having trouble finding purpose, or achieve certain goals, reach out to me. Consultations. If you need to just talk to the God, you just need to get some things off your chest, your experience of what you're going through, whatever the case may be, man, I'm here. Reach out through the email. We set something up. You can talk to me personally. With that said, let's jump into this topic of secret power. That's a true benefit, and a benefit that you should really be paying attention to. That power is the power of wisdom. What comes along with that is inner intuition. Intuition is knowing without any explanation. And it's crazy because when I was tapping in and really doing some inner work, and coming along with certain with coming with notes for this topic, I came across a comment just recently from another audio that someone said, sometimes we experience things on this journey, especially on a long street, that cannot even be explained. And my boy was absolutely right. There's some things that I've experienced that I haven't even touched on yet on this journey, that I can't really put into words and explain it on, an audio or this content, or come to YouTube to really explain it. And I did a consultation with somebody else also, and we're on the phone. And, I told him that, experience is the best teacher, is the best lesson that you can learn. And our own experiences teaches us and gives us certain knowledge and wisdom on how we need to move forward, and how we move and pick up on certain things in our area, picking up on people's energy, the whole 9 yards. But this inner intuition is included with this wisdom, because with this intuition is knowing and having this knowledge. And with this experience, we gain more knowledge. We gain more of an intuition, just an inner knowing of the decisions that we make, the places that we go, the people that we talk to. This is how we start to move with a certain spirit on this journey. Physically, yes, our masculine frame carries us. People see that, and that's the first thing that they are attracted to, is the physical, the attraction, what people see. But in the unseen, what you're doing, the inner work, the spiritual work, digging really deep beyond the woman attraction and all that other shit, it's a deeper path that you must go on this semen retention journey, that carries you through, if you're willing to go through that darkness, if you're really willing to do the work for yourself. In the Bible, the prophet the King Solomon. And I'm not religious. I don't belong to no religion or anything of that. You know what I mean? I don't subscribe to a certain doctrine or whatever. I read books for knowledge. I read the Holy Bible for knowledge. I read the Holy Quran for knowledge. Not because I am Christian, not because I am Muslim, or anything like that. I am what I am. You dig what I'm saying? But understand that there are certain stories and certain allegories out here that we must apply to our lives, and that we must read with an open mind and try to understand different concepts. So in the example of King Solomon, or if you're into esoteric beliefs like I am, you're into alchemy like I am, if you're into certain magic like I am, you see it through a different lens of looking at these prophets and kings and what they were able to do. And King Solomon, or the soul of man, you take it for what you want. He chose wisdom over riches and became a great judge. He chose wisdom over riches. He chose wisdom over having abundance of women. He was still king and had multiple wives, but he didn't choose that. He chose wisdom over pleasure, over riches, over material things, and became a great judge. And with that, and when we talk about judge, we're not talking about, a judge with a gavel. We're talking about having great judgment, having great intuition, knowing. With that wisdom, you know certain things. And even in one of the examples that they put into the Bible, if you're familiar with the Bible or you're familiar with the story, you know where I'm about to go with this. And they gave an example in the story of a baby, and two women were fussing over the baby, or who would keep the baby, whose baby it was. Solomon was such a great judge and has such great wisdom. He didn't say, prove to me, make them do things or prove to him that, whose child is this? He simply just said, all right, quit all the fussing. Let's cut this baby in half, split them, and then y'all can have them both, y'all both can have a part. Right? And you have to follow the allegory of the story. You dig what I'm saying? People take, certain stories to heart and take it for real life shit. But understand that when he did this, he was looking at the reaction. What type of reaction would he get from these women to see if the mother was real or not? Who was the real mother? And of course, once again, if you follow the story, your Bible and stuff like that, or if this is your first time hearing it, the woman who cried out and said, no, don't cut the baby, forget about it, don't harm the child, he granted that woman a child because he knew, he had the wisdom, he had the judgment well enough to know that the real mother wouldn't allow that to happen. That the woman would rather lose her baby altogether than to see the baby hurt. By doing certain things, by having intuition, the knowledge, the wisdom, to know, not just base it off of, I know that I have wisdom and I have knowledge, but to understand, to watch people's reaction, how energy shifts, where the energy goes, how other people make decisions. That brings you true wisdom and that brings you true knowledge. That's why I'm adamant on not sitting on your energy, not engaging with people. People bring you a certain experience, whether it be a wicked spirit or a pure spirit. Let me tell you something, man. I love engaging with everybody. And included with that is wicked spirits, because I've been there. I've been a wicked spirit before. I know what it's like to move around with a wicked spirit. So when that type of energy comes around, I like to engage with it, because those wicked spirits like to try to throw you off your rocker. But guess what? When you are on semen retention, your frequency is high, and the higher frequency always wins. So I get an enjoyment of interacting with a wicked spirit. And when that wicked spirit thinks that they can rock me off my square, they're sadly mistaken, because then I start to rock their shit. And then they get disturbed. They get rattled. But that comes with having the knowledge and wisdom, being aware of my energy. A lot of people not aware of their energy. A lot of people aren't tapped in. So when you're dealing with somebody that's tapped in, it's a dangerous game that you play with that person, because that person has a backing. That person has spirits behind them protecting them. Understand, when you're on semen retention and you really tap in and you study and you build upon your knowledge to gain wisdom, nobody can fuck with you. You're unstoppable. I don't care what your situation looks like, what material things that you want to get that you can't possess right now. Your spirit on this journey overrides all that shit. Touching back on King Solomon, once again, he judged based off of reaction in that story. This is wisdom through experiences. Going through that experience, being challenged in that moment to make a hard decision, to detect fraudulent activity, to detect fraudulent energy. He wasn't afraid to go beyond the means of really finding out who the mother was. He was really saying, you know, let's split this baby in half. Bring a sword and let's cut this baby in half. Let's get straight down to it. Understand that knowledge comes, but wisdom lingers. And this is through your growth and development through semen retention. Knowledge comes to us all, whether you're on semen retention or not. But retaining, third time, but retaining the same energy that you are pouring back into yourself. When you receive knowledge, you are retaining that knowledge, and that growth and development turns into wisdom, and that lingers. That's a benefit. That's a true benefit. Wisdom includes judgment. That's why King Solomon was such a great judge. His judgment. That's why he asked the Most High, or was granted by the Most High, for that wisdom, to gain that wisdom. I want wisdom over riches. Having the wisdom, you'll know how to get to the bag. You'll know how to get to the riches. What's good with having the riches and you dumb as hell? Huh? You don't know what to do with the riches, but just fuck it off. Trick it off. But with wisdom, you know how to get to it, and then when you get to it, you know what to do with it. That's why it's real key to stay patient on this journey. You got financial goals, be patient. This is molding you and building you to when that time comes for you to have certain things materialize in your reality, you'll know what to do. You'll have the answers already. This is inner intuition and wisdom. Also included in wisdom is discrimination. And that's what I'm saying about wicked spirits and pure spirits. You know how to decipher the two, and then you start to say, all right, you know, I don't got time for this person today. You dig what I'm saying? Because some of those wicked spirits can be our own family members. Some of those wicked spirits can be the same people that we share a household with. You dig? So discrimination ain't just about color, race, or whatever. This has to do with spirituality, protecting your energy. You have to discriminate against those people sometimes and say, I don't got time for it. I don't want to be in the same place as you. You going through some shit. You got some bad energy with you that I can't be around, is going to rub off on me. You got to distance yourself. This is about protection. This is judgment. And yes, we don't judge people. You know what I mean? I'm a firm believer that I don't judge a book by its cover. I don't judge people, for face value. And I don't like judging people based off of, especially what someone else tells me, until I interact with that person and get to know that person, if I want to, right? Then I will make my judgment. And then it's up to me whether I discriminate against that person or not. Also included with this wisdom, once again, is intuition, which all these judgment, discrimination, and intuition all falls under the head of knowing. Intuition, judgment, wisdom, justice, pure knowing, and profound understanding are natural to man. This is man's nature. These are the traits of man's nature. I'm going to say that again. Intuition. This is nature of man. And I'm going to touch on real quick on intuition with females, right? Females have intuition off the rip, but men, we have to gain that intuition because we're so logical in a sense. That's one of our traits. But pure knowing, gaining wisdom gives us that intuition, but we have to build upon that. Women's intuition is their nature off the rip. But we also have something with us through wisdom, through our logic. Sometimes it transforms us and molds us into having that intuition also. It's a process that we have to learn. And through our semen retention, through holding on to our sexual energy, we are able to gain this intuition. We are keeping this energy with us, and that it gives us that power. Intuition, judgment, wisdom, justice, knowing what's right and what's wrong, morality, pure knowing, pure thought, and a profound understanding are natural to man. These are traits of a man's true nature. Profound understanding, I'm going to explain that a little bit. Profound understanding is not just, I get it, like a light bulb goes off. This is knowing things inside and out. This is understanding, this is overstanding, and this is understanding. You dig? That's profound understanding. It's all aspects of you knowing all things all around. And when I say knowing all things, I don't mean, being a know-it-all, anything like that. But in that certain situation, through your certain experiences, you are gaining a benefit of each and every circumstances. And you are looking at it not just through one lens, but through a whole spectrum. There's a saying that, or a question that popped up on me in my notes also. One of my favorite books that, I harp on and talk about is 12 Powers of Man by Charles Fillmore. I encourage you boys to read that book, 12 Powers of Man. All right. Charles Fillmore. Really tap into it. All right. There's a question in that book in one of the chapters where it talks about wisdom and judgment. And when we talk about justice, right and wrong, right? Or we talk about good and evil, there's a question. Must we experience evil in order to appreciate good? Or do we have to go through pain before we can enjoy pleasure? This semen retention journey isn't easy, my boys. This is work. This is hard work. But the best work is putting in the work for yourself. And we go through tough times. We go through the pain. We go through the relapses. We go through everything on this journey, especially if you're on a long streak, or if you've been on this journey for a long time and you have dealt with the process of going through a relapse, jumping back on, getting through that relapse, going on a long streak, relapsing again. But you're just continuing to just build on and add on to yourself through this process. I feel like If it's necessary to experience evil or bad or whatever the case may be, there's polarity to this. What swings left eventually swings right. So as long as you stay the course on your journey, there will be polarity. There will be a relapse here and there. There will be you having to get back on your square. There will be times where you have to really gear up and work harder on yourself. Is it necessary that we go through pain before we enjoy pleasure? For everybody, the answer may be no. I shouldn't say everybody. For some people, the answer may be no. Some people can enjoy life without experiencing pain. But for most of us that are in this matrix, and when the matrix starts to reveal certain things to us, we have to go through pain to experience real pleasure, because the pleasure that was once put before you, is it really pleasure? One of the famous quotes in the movie The Matrix, if you haven't watched it, one of the famous quotes in the first Matrix is, "Ignorance is bliss." One of the guys escaped the Matrix. He jumped back into the Matrix. He had both experiences. He made the decision to be a part of the Matrix again, because ignorance is bliss. Knowing that what the Matrix is, having the knowledge of what was going on, he made a decision to say, you know what? I'm tired of going through this pain. I'm tired of being without. I want to experience pleasure, because the pleasure that was presented before me, before all this shit, I was numb to having real knowledge. So gaining this pleasure up front, I'll take it. But for us on semen retention, especially, once again, if you go on a long streak, my boys, once when you gain certain benefits and you go through certain experiences, it's hard to turn back. Even going through the pain, even going through the experience of evil, knowing at one point what you were doing was evil or bad to your body, bad to your mind, bad to your soul, negative energy. You had to experience that to understand now on semen retention what it feels like to be on the polar opposite of that. For some of us, it's hard to go back. Some of us will go back to the Matrix, eat the steak, know that the steak isn't really a steak, but turn a blind eye to it and be ignorant. So I feel like, yes, pain is necessary, because out of pain, when you really get to it and experience real joy, real peace, real pleasure, you understand fully what it really is. You know the difference. Even in the book 12 Powers of Man, it gives an example, once again, of a child touching fire, playing with fire for the first time and getting burned, right? The child doesn't know how hot that fire is. He's just being told, don't touch the fire, you're going to get burned. But he's never been burnt before, so he doesn't know what it feels like. He doesn't know that pain. That child is curious. So a child is going to, play with certain stuff, touch that fire. And when he gets burnt, now he knows in his mind, those receptors, that feeling of pain, crying, hurting, and then even going through that process more of healing. You dig? Follow me here. Even going through that process of healing, you're still hurting. It still hurts. But now when you're fully healed, you're going to go touch that fire again? You don't want to go through that same process. You don't want to go through that same pain. So if we knew it all, we wouldn't find it necessary to experience the opposite. If we knew already that fire would burn us, we wouldn't touch it. But because we don't know certain pain and certain feelings, or that baby didn't know certain pains and certain feelings, he touched that fire. Now he has that experience of pain. He won't do that shit again. If he does, he's ignorant, because he knows It's going to hurt. It's going to burn. That baby now is afraid of fire. When he sees fire, he's kind of traumatized from it. He's going to walk away. He's going to stand a distance. Once again, right? What swings left eventually swings right. And this has to do with the law of rhythm. You need to understand that. There's polarity. When I talk about good and evil, sometimes you have to be evil in a sense. That's a part of you. You can't escape that. But what has to override that is your purity. Talk to yourself. Talk to that evil part of you. I remember bringing up, when you see in cartoons or shows and stuff like that, and, you got the angel on the right shoulder and then the devil, if you will, on the left shoulder, and the angel on the right shoulder is talking, and always is depicted as whoever that person is. The angel is depicted as that person, right? Most of the time, right? The angel is depicted as that person dressed up in the angel all white with the wings. But the devil on the other side is depicted as that same person dressed up as the devil with the horns and stuff like that. That's a part of you. It's telling you you have two parts of you. You have an evil side and you have a pure side. You have two people talking to you, but that is you. You can't escape that. In knowledge, we accept this law of rhythm, right? These two ends of good and evil, bad or good, negative, positive, or whatever the case may be. One side is telling you a positive thing. The other side is telling you the negative. But you, as a spiritual being in this vessel, have a choice to make. When you accept this law of rhythm, knowing that there's polarity, what swings left, swings right, this puts us on a path of continuing our journey, even through tough circumstances. When you have to make decisions, because that's when that pops up. Making that decision. Something as simple as, on our semen retention journey, should I release or not? You feeling weary, you're going through a tough time, you're feeling stressed and stuff like that. You feel like rubbing one off. You have a decision to make. One side is telling you, don't do it. You've been on your journey. You've been on it 90 days. You've been on it, a year, whatever the case may be, however long you've been on it, 2 weeks, right? Keep going. You're on the right path. Things are going to get better. That angel is telling you that. But on that other side, it's like, yo, you're stressed, bro. You need a release. You haven't released in this long. Oh, it's not going to harm you. It's not going to do any bad to you. You got a decision to make. Because you understand and know certain knowledge about this semen retention journey. You understand that this is potential to be harmful, and to step into it and do something that's going against you can be harmful if you don't have control and a grip over yourself. Use your intuition. Use your knowledge. This is a secret power of having wisdom, inner knowing, inner standing. As you come to this platform and you gain whatever you gain out of this, whether you go forward and use it for dating tips and certain audios that I drop, and how to treat women, and how to court, how to court women, and how to look for a valid mate that you want to be with through your semen retention journey and become pure, right? Being attractive to women and attracting the right person. Whether you take that knowledge for it, or if you take it for a spiritual benefit to gain, your spiritual prowess on this journey. Whatever you come to this audio for, I hope you're gaining something out of it, and especially in this one, that you are gaining wisdom. You come here and you are gaining wisdom. You are gaining knowledge that will turn into wisdom, I should say. You dig? With that said, my boys, once again, like, comment, share the content. Once again, I appreciate you boys. Links in the description to donate to the channel, to help the channel grow. I appreciate you boys from the bottom of my heart. With that said, as always, with love and peace.